So the Les Paul saga continues, and for this session we have got a 2010, yes indeed, 14 years old or thereabouts, studio in the Worn series finishes. So let's have a look at this one. Oh, we'll have a listen first, and then we'll have a look round and I'll see what I can. Let's go. So pickup time, and starting on the noisy or distorted channel with the bridge pickup, which is of course a Seymour Duncan. Was it Duncan Seymour? Seymour Duncan SH15. Not bad at A. Into the centre. let's see how they clean up. Okie dokie, and starting with the Seymour at the bridge position, everything's on flat out, there's no splittable stuff here, it's just straightforward. Very, very nice indeed into the centre. Lovely. And onto the neck. Let's have a look round. Well, according to whichever report you happen to read, whichever survey results you happen to come across, it seems that by and large the most popular guitar of all time is in fact the Gibson Les Paul. It doesn't say whether that's the studio or the standard or which version of it, because there's plenty of them, let's face it. But I reckon for a good value, rock solid workhorse that just won't let you down ever and will always sound good, you really can't beat a studio. There's no whistles or bells with them. They're just really, really well made, competent guitars. And this is absolutely no exception, or exception might be even more appropriate, mightn't it? So headstock, you've got the silk screen Gibson logo with Les Paul there, and it tells you on the trussle that it's a studio. And although really the main feature that distinguishes a studio from any of the tributes or anything like that has been removed, but we'll get to that in a moment. So around the back it usefully tells you that it was in fact made in 2010, and you've got the Gibson Deluxe tuners. It's a mahogany neck set into a mahogany body. Very nice thing it is indeed. For 14 years old, pretty low mileage this one. Nice maple cap on the top, of course you can see by the wood changes, exhaust pipe in the usual place, 2 tones, 2 volumes, 1 scratch plate, tunematic and a stop tail, and 2 humbuckers. So the humbucker in the neck is the original 490R, and what you will normally have in the bridge is a 498T, and they're normally popping out about 13. But this has had a Seymour Duncan in, and to be honest, I can't tell a massive difference between the two. But the voicing is just slightly different. It's the best way I can describe it is it just sounds a little bit more silvery, if that makes any sense to anybody. And it is popping out 16 plus, so it's a proper thug of a pickup. That's a very, very high output indeed. Yeah, so they're just really and again, if you are in the market for one of these, if you had bought this, you see, so normally I go, ooh, upgrades on the Gibson, not keen. But to be fair, the Seymour Duncan it's at least a parallel. In fact, the Seymour Duncans are probably more expensive than the 498s. They're about 130 quid from GAK, the SH15, which is what we've got in here. So I reckon that if you'd bought this, not knowing that anything was different, expecting a 490R and a 498T, and if you ever took the pickups out, I think that you might be annoyed. So if there's any way that you can check that you've got all the original stuff, then that is your ideal world. But of course, this was bought by a pal of mine in the knowledge that it had this upgrade or change, we'll say. Yeah, so really, you know what to look out for. We're looking out for cracked brakes, dents and repairs in the normal places, especially around here. The amount of these that I see, and they're not advertised, that they've got, there's nothing in the blurb saying it's had a great big old thump and been nailed back together somehow. It's less likely to see any separation around here, but it does happen from time to time, so always something to look out for. Just make sure it's all original, because that's the best way to ensure that your purchase will hold its value. And with all of that said, I shall thank you all for tuning in. As always, I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Adios amigos. Ta-ra.